guys, welcome back to a new video. It's that time of the month, monthly pickup time, guys. I'm going to share with you the stuff that I bought in October. I have strategy guides, I have games, I have amiibos, I also have coffee. Let's get to it. Let's kick things off with the handheld games. First up, for the PlayStation Vita, I haven't even had a chance to play this yet. It's Corpse Party Blood Drive. This is actually the Ever After edition. If I'm not mistaken, it's like a launch edition. I don't think they're selling this standalone yet, but cool display box. It's pretty awesome. It comes with a nice looking art book, great art, and also a music soundtrack, which is awesome. Corpse Party, first time. It's getting a physical release in North America, which I think is fantastic. There were two previous Corpse Party games that were released on the PSP, and here in North America those two games were only released digitally. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to play this game yet. My intentions was to play through the first two games, starting like in the end of September, leading up to the release of this game, but that didn't happen. I'm actually almost done with the first game. I kept getting stuck. I was getting bad endings, so I had to restart. But I really dig the series. It's a horror series. It's in the horror genre. It's like 16-bit adventure game style. It's really cool. It's gory. It's actually pretty funny too, which I really didn't expect, but I like the characters so far. Really enjoying this series, and I hope they put more out. Actually, I think this is the end of this particular series, but I hope there are more Corpse Party games in the near future. Legend of Legacy for the Nintendo 3DS, and I'm just realizing that there are a couple of box sets that I have to share with you guys this month, which is pretty strange. But yeah, this is another special edition, or maybe it's just a launch edition put out by Atlas. Really cool box. Again, comes with an art book and a soundtrack as well. This is more or less a traditional RPG. It's very grindy. I've put about like 5 hours into it, and God, I want to keep pushing forward, but it's hard. It's a hard game, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate hard games. I'm not the type that plays games on easy, typically play on normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need an easy game, but it's kind of disheartening, and it's not a good motivator when you are playing a game, especially RPGs, and you realize that every enemy that you come up against totally just destroys you. And I totally get it. You need to go back and grind, and like I said, this game is very grind heavy. You really got to grind it out. It's more or less you know, you have a map and you go to locations, and it kind of reminds me of Etrian Odyssey, because you're kind of mapping out the location that you're in, except you're not actually mapping it out. It's like when you walk, you know, part of the area will open up on your map, and you, in order to gain money, you have to discover, you know, like 100% these areas so you can sell the map when you go back to the main town. And from there you can buy items and weapons and all that other good stuff. My thing is that, you know, like I said, it's a hard game. I don't mind the combat. It has this really weird system, combat system, where it's like your actual character doesn't level up. It's more or less the stats level up, and they level up in the middle of battles, which is kind of strange. It takes some getting used to. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but it's different for me. I know a lot of people are used to this type of game, but for me it's kind of different, and I enjoy it. It's just, like I said, it's hard to motivate myself to actually keep playing it when I'm constantly getting destroyed. So maybe I'll pick it back up sometime later on down the road and, you know, make some serious progress, because that tends to happen at times. But I'm definitely not going to force myself to get further in the game when I'm becoming so frustrated when I'm playing. But other than that, it's a great looking game. Music is fantastic. It's so damn hard. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes for the Nintendo 3DS. Gotta be honest, guys, I'm not quite sure how I feel about Triforce Heroes. At first glance, very similar to something like Four Swords Adventure. You know, you gotta work alongside other people in order to get through dungeons. And, you know, this is called Triforce Heroes for a reason. 3 links have to work together in order to get through levels. Great. But what I don't like about the game is the fact that, you know, as far as the single player experience goes, it's very tedious. And the game isn't hard. The puzzles aren't hard by any means, but God, it's kind of just like I said, it's tedious in order to, you know, when you're playing single player, you have to basically switch characters. So you're switching between 3 links all on your own in this game in order to progress. And at times it gets frustrating, you know. And if you're not playing single player, you can play locally, which isn't an option for me because no one in my house is going to sit here and play Triforce Heroes. But there's also online play. And, you know, the times that I have played online, I got through, like, I think maybe 2 dungeons. Okay. But the other times, there were some issues. I mean, I've been dropped out of games because someone just up and decided to leave. And again, I was playing with random people, but someone just up and decided to leave, and that kicks you out automatically. So you could be at the last part of the dungeon and someone loses connection, or they just automatically quit, and that's it. Sayonara. You gotta do it all over again. So frustrating. What I really need to do is play with people that are on my 3DS friends list. So if we're friends on the 3DS and, you know, you want to play some Triforce Heroes with me, totally let me know. Totally willing to play. You know, I really do like this game. I do. I really wouldn't mind replaying levels over again. I mean, they're fun and it's not hard. There are some challenge modes in here that are a little hard, but then again, I tried doing them in single player and maybe that's the reason why it was hard. But yeah, not my favorite Zelda game, but it still does have some good qualities. The last handheld game I'm going to share with you guys is Chibi Robo Ziplash with the Adorbs Chibi Robo amiibo. So cute. Way too cute. Yeah, I actually played through this game and completed it. And after beating it, I thought it was alright. It wasn't bad, but by no means is it great. It's a very average side-scrolling platformer. It's dripping with charm, but I can't even say it's the best looking platformer that's on the 3DS. It doesn't look all that great, but it's just very charming, you know, it really is. It's very cutesy. The things that I like the best about the game is definitely the controls. The controls to manipulate Chibi Robo's little whip, I thought worked really well. But what I didn't like was the speed of the game. The game is more or less a slower platformer, and there were times where I was just like, can Chibi Robo like hurry up already? I kind of wanted a run button so I could get through the levels a little bit faster. But yeah, another thing that I didn't like, and you guys have probably already heard it, you know, this game essentially, there are 6 worlds, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 worlds, and throughout each world, there are 5 levels, and then there's a boss. And I thought the bosses were really cool. I like the bosses in this game, but the game basically has this roulette system for the levels. So you have to spin, okay, to land on a level. And depending on where you land, you know, you can essentially land on a level that you've already played. And then you'd have to replay that level all over again in order to spin again, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, that was crazy until I realized that the money that you can definitely go and buy items, but you can also buy panels for that roulette system, that level roulette system, and totally buy the panels that you need in order to get to the next level. So I didn't end up replaying a lot of the levels in this game. I caught on very quick, but I just thought it was a really weird system for a platformer. But yeah, Ziplash was pretty good. Love the cute Chibi Robo amiibo. Like I said, not the best game, but definitely not the worst either. I got through that Nintendo related stuff, so I was like, you know what, might as well share this amiibo. Finally got the Olimar amiibo, which is awesome. A friend on Twitter actually saw my video and he was like, hey Steph, you know, I know my Best Buy has one. I'll send it your way. So I PayPal'd him the money and he sent it to me, and it's pretty awesome. Take it out of the box now that I'm sharing it with you guys and put it on the shelf with the other amiibo. But yeah, I'm so happy to have this in my collection now. Moving on to the console games, we have here first up Tales of Zestiria for the PlayStation 4. This is still sealed. I have not had a chance to play it. I told myself once I'm done with another one of the games that I'm currently playing, I will play this. The reviews have been kind of mixed. You know, the reception has been kind of mixed on this game, but it's a Tales game. It's one of the few RPG series that I really dig because I love the combat so much. But yeah, really looking forward to getting into this sometime soon, hopefully before the end of the year. I also picked up the collector edition strategy guide because I'm a sucker for these, as you'll see. But yeah, love these strategy guides for the Tales games. So this next game I'm going to share with you guys has a little story behind it as to why I picked it up. So early on in the month of October, there was a morning where I was kind of running late, you know, for work. So I didn't have time to make coffee and, you know what I'm saying, make myself some oatmeal. So I got ready and I started heading over to my job, and I stopped off because, you know, I was kind of putting pedal to the metal. So I had some extra time. Stopped off at 7-Eleven close to my job. To get some coffee and something for breakfast. So, you know, I made myself some coffee while I was at 7-Eleven, and I picked up a banana. And I'm at the register, and I had cash on me that day, which was really weird because I usually never carry cash. I always usually pay with my debit card or credit card or whatever it is. So, you know, I had a few dollars, and I was like, you know what? I saw a scratch off there. It was a bingo scratch off. I was like, I'll take the scratch off along with this banana and this coffee. Whatever. And I usually never have luck with this type of stuff. So, you know, I take my banana, I take my coffee and my scratch off, and I head on to work, and I totally forgot about the scratch off. It wasn't until later on in the morning I was like, oh snap, I had this scratch off, you know, let me go back out to the car and grab it. So, long story short, I actually won $50 on that bingo scratch off, which was the reason why I picked up this game. It's Dragon Quest Heroes, The World, Trees, Woe, and the Blight Below. Sorry, I had to look at that because there's no way I can memorize that title. It's very long-winded. Yeah, I picked this up. This is the day one exclusive, which comes with, I don't know, some extra items or weapons and stuff like that. I actually kind of like this game. I'm not usually into the Dynasty Warrior hack and slash type of games. But now I realize that I don't mind those type of games. I just don't like the Dynasty Warrior like focused. I like the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors because I like Zelda. Like this because I like Dragon Quest. It's pretty cool. You know, I actually picked this up from Best Buy, and you know, I used that money from the scratch off to pick this up at Best Buy because I'm part of that Gamers Club Unlocked. So the game was like $50, which was awesome. Right on point there. But I went to GameStop like a couple of days later to pay off something else, and I was talking to the manager, and he was like, hey, did you get Dragon Quest Heroes? And I was like, yeah, but unfortunately I didn't pick it up from you guys. And he was like, that's okay, and he gave me the pre-order item, which was pretty cool. I'm looking at it now, and I'll take a picture and share it with you guys in this video. But yeah, it's this really cool like wall scroll, I want to say, maybe, or maybe it's like, it's not a poster, it's like cloth, you know. It's really nice. It has the cover art on it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I have that hanging up in my room. But the game is fun. It's actually fun. Yeah, it's a lot of hacking and slashing, but there's some strategy involved as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost want to say, I don't want to say tower defense, but you kind of have to strategize as to, because you can capture these monsters. You can capture monsters. So you almost have to strategize as to where you want to place them throughout each world, you know. I like it, and that's crazy. Like I said, I was going to wait on this game, but because I had a few extra dollars in my pocket, I ended up picking it up day one, and I'm glad that I did because I really love the fact that I'm supporting the Dragon Quest series. So the last 2 games I'm going to share with you guys are definitely the 2 games that I put the most time into in October, and I'm still currently playing these games. So first up, for the PlayStation 4, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This is the Gold Edition. It comes with the game plus the Season Pass, and this was like the must-have edition for me. So glad that they bundled these 2 together, because the Season Pass is something, when I heard about that Jack the Ripper DLC, I was like, whoa, count me in. That's the main reason I wanted to get this game. Love me some Jack the Ripper. Like, I find that, I know it's kind of weird, but I find that kind of fascinating for some strange reason. And I always have, which is weird, because my mom used to tell me stories about how she was scared of Jack the Ripper when she was younger, like horrified of Jack the Ripper. And then like I started learning more about Jack the Ripper and I was scared. I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, Jack the Ripper DLC, can't wait for that. Yeah, you know, I've come to the realization that either you love Assassin's Creed or you hate it. And you guys already know by now, I love this series. But I'm not one of those that admits when, you know, this series has its faults. You know, there's been some mishaps or missteps here. Don't get me wrong. Last year's Unity debacle was crazy. It was crazy. I still supported, you know, I went out, I bought that game. Haven't played a lot of it, but definitely they've patched it up. It doesn't seem to be as bad as it was at launch. But Syndicate's really cool. I might be a little biased because I like the whole time setting. The Industrial Revolution takes place in London, which is pretty awesome. I like the main characters. You play as twins, Evie and Jacob Fry, boy and a girl, which is pretty cool. And they both play differently. Jacob is more or less more confrontational. He's just out there. He is a cold-blooded killer. I mean, both of them are. They both kill. But Jacob definitely, whew. And Evie, you know, she's a little bit more on the stealth side, you know what I'm saying? She likes to stick in the shadows and be a little bit more stealthy, and I think that's cool. And you can switch in and out or in between each character, as long as it's not like a specific story base or story driven mission where you have to play as that character. But really cool stuff. I feel like this game has blown like a little bit of fresh air into the series, and that's kind of hard to say because it's a series that comes out on a yearly basis, so that's kind of hard to do. But the combat feels a lot better than previous Assassin's Creed games. The traversal, as far as parkour and stuff like that, feels a lot better too. They made things a little bit easier because you have like this rope launcher now. You can point it up towards the top of a building. It'll launch a rope, and you can kind of like zip line, or you can kind of climb up the rope. I mean, it's neat. But yeah, I like the story so far. I heard that's not the best part of the game. Again, I am about like 20% complete. That's what the progression log tells me in the game. I'm about 20% complete with the game. And I haven't even done a lot of the sequences. Pretty early on in the story, I've been doing a lot of side content. Really enjoy the side content too. There's a lot of it. I didn't even feel overwhelmed though. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, you'll meet characters that have memories from like Charles Dickens. You'll see Charles Dickens in here, and he has his own set of missions for you. You'll see Charles Darwin. You'll see Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, it's very history driven, which isn't surprising because that's the way Assassin's Creed typically is. But I don't know, there's something about this time period that really, I don't know, I just really enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun. But then again, I can't sell you on it, and I'm not trying to. You should know by now if you like Assassin's Creed games, honestly. I enjoy it a lot. And I also got, as usual, the collector's edition guide, strategy guide. I have almost all of these collector edition strategy guides for Assassin's Creed. I'm missing a couple, but I tend to pick, I don't really use them sometimes if I'm trying to get certain items or whatever, but I think they make it a lot easier in these more recent games because everything is shown on your map. But I just enjoy having the collector edition guides anyway. Last but not least, guys, new Wii U game. Don't share many Wii U games, but this is a new one. We've been waiting for it for a while in North America. You guys feel my pain. We had to wait months for this game. Yoshi's Woolly World. It was well worth the wait though. This is the bundle. It comes with the game and the adorable green yarn Yoshi, which I'm never going to open up. But yeah, I'm currently playing this game. I just made it into World 5, so I'm almost done. But I want to go back and try to collect everything that I possibly can. I've been having a blast with this game. Aesthetically, it reminds me of Kirby's Epic Yarn, of course, because the whole world is made out of yarn. But it's just so cute. The music's fantastic. It's just totally whimsical. And it's a little hard if you're trying to collect everything. There's some parts, and maybe it's hard because of Yoshi's little flutter jump that he has. But yeah, absolutely love this game. I wish Nintendo would put more, you know, at this point with the Wii U, all we can rely on are Nintendo first party games, honestly. And I definitely won't complain about first party titles because I feel like Nintendo puts out quality stuff. If we could get more quality like this, you know, that would be awesome. But I know that's a little too much to ask because it takes some time to make amazing games like this. But yeah, definitely worth buying a Wii U for if you're into platformers. I can't get enough of this game. It's just so awesome. Plus, I've been spending a lot of time like tapping my amiibo that I have in my collection into the game because this supports amiibo. And you have little yarn versions of your amiibo, Yoshi amiibo, which is fantastic. You know, I mean, you can have like a little Dr. Mario Yoshi, yarn Yoshi, which is crazy. I also picked up, because I'm not going to open up the green yarn Yoshi amiibo, I picked up the pink yarn Yoshi amiibo, which is cute. There's also a blue one, but more interested in the pink. But yeah, I'm so happy that Woolly World finally came out. I can't get enough of it. It's just too darn fun. So that's everything that I picked up in October. We're into the second week of November now. Some awesome games are coming out this month. Plus you got Black Friday. I mean, I just love the holiday season. You know, I love the lights. I love giving presents. You know, I love spending time with family. It's my favorite time of the year, honestly. But let me know, guys, what games you picked up in October. And if it's a little too late, let me know what you're looking forward to picking up throughout the rest of the year. I'm going to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll check you next time.